Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Syahidah binti Jamil. My matrix number is D2020109273. So I want to explain to you background or introduction about two companies, which is Nestle Malaysia Berhad and also Dutch Lady Meat Industry Berhad. Okay, so first let me move to the Nestle company Berhad. As we know, Nestle is the largest company of food and beverage in the world. It also has about 2,000 branded that produced by Nestle. Nestle company also distribute about 1,989 included our country, which is Malaysia. This is proof that Nestle company is the largest company food and beverage in the world. The goal of multinational Nestle company is to improve the quality of life and also to have a better healthy lifestyle in the future. That's why Nestle company always produce the new product and also healthy, because they are always concerned about healthy in the life. Nestle company has been operating commercially in Malaysia about 1912. It's been a long time. The company is the largest producer of halal food in Nestle Group, and also it has been a halal center of excellence in Nestle Group. The headquarter company of Nestle Malaysia Berhad is located in Mutiara Damansara, Selangor. It also have 7 factory and also 1 national distribution center. Next, it also have more than 5,800 employees. Can you guys imagine how big Nestle Malaysia Berhad? Additional information, Nestle Malaysia Berhad is a holding company of investment. This company has 2 segmentation of market, which is food and beverage, and then second is others, which include nutrition and also Nestle Professional. Nestle products are categorized into coffee, culinary, beverage, healthcare, dairy and others. So many line product in Nestle. And it also has produced more than 500 halal product. Household is familiar with this brand like Maggi, Milo, Nescafe. Nestle company listed on Bursa Malaysia since 1899 under main market. Okay, then I will explain about Dutch Lady Meat Industry Berhad. Dutch Lady Meat Industry Berhad is a subsidiary of Friesland Campina, which is one of the largest cooperative dairies company in the world. This is the leading dairy company for multinational management frameworks, as they can focus on the importance of local product that needs to stay in a touch with a consumer in Malaysia. Dutch Lady Meat Industry Berhad is established in Petaling Jaya, Selangor in 1963. This company has about 600 employees, offering a wide range of quality and delicious meat based on dairy product to help Malaysians stay nutritious and keep healthy to progress their life. Dutch Lady Malaysia also is a leader of the dairy company in 1863. Then this is the first dairy company that listed on Bursa Malaysia in 1968. So the main owner of Dutch Lady company is Royal Friesland Campina. Permodalan National Berhad is the second largest of shareholder in the Dutch Lady company. Lady Malaysia manufacture the market and high good quality of dairy product and fruit juice for the local and export market. Among the product, for example, is fruit juice, yogurt, baby formula, growing up milk and others. This company also has a loyal consumer. So that's all for introduction or background about these two companies, which is Nestle Malaysia Berhad and also Dutch Lady.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Mega Putriani binti Azwa. My student ID is D2020109269. I want to explain about success factors and risks. First is non-financial factors. Nestle established a great platform for its product towards the market. The company capitalized on non-financial factors such as reputation. Nestle provides better products to its customer by developing, produce, and markets a wide range of foods and beverage. These products satisfy many consumer needs such as nutrient content, variety, pleasure, and convenience. This situation will maintain a healthy relationship with customers, and Nestle can provide a better experience to customers without negative promotion. Nestle products basically sell in the building that refers to any supermarket or grocery store. For physical facilities, it includes building, welfare activities, ventilation, light, air conditioner, and others, maintained by the supermarket or any store for better experience for their customer to buy products in their store include Nestle products. Move to the next company, Dutch Lady Milk Industry Berhad, or we call them as Dutch Lady. First, for Dutch Lady company is reputation. The company provides better products to its customers and maintain healthy relationship with customer and market. Due to the statement, for the fourth year in a row, the Dutch Lady brand emerged as the gold winner of the Putra Brand Awards in 2019 in the dairy beverage category. This has shown that the company have a good reputation towards customer. Second point for Dutch Lady is human resource. Based on the annual report on 2020, Dutch Lady has reshaped the landscape of work and productivity as health and safety took precedence for the workforce, where the office staff work from home to minimize community spread due to the pandemic COVID-19 condition. With all these changes, Dutch Lady recognized the importance of keeping their employees continually engaged, energized, and support during this trying time, simply because as a company, they care about employee welfare. We move to the next point, which is internal risk. Nestle. The most significant internal risk to the Nestle financial performance is market risk, which is changes in foreign currency exchange rates. This is because exposure to forex risk in capital markets will have a significant impact on the cost of their product. Like any company, Nestle is vulnerable to technology changes due to technology advancement. Although they have entered into the cybersecurity market, Nestle had problems with cyber attacks, and because of this, they have implemented security controls to identify cybersecurity risks based on Nestle's cyber risk framework. Next, Nestle has a business disruption resulting from the pandemic or global crisis. The company has a crisis team to handle and activate the business continuity plan when necessary. They collaborate and keep in close contact with their business partners to ensure safety and ensure minimal disruption in business supply. Nestle strictly adhere to the standard operating procedure or SOP and work closely with the authorities to ensure the safety of everyone in the company and continuity of the operation. For Dutch Lady Milk Industry Berhad, the most significant internal risk to the Dutch Lady's financial performance is financial market risk, which refers to the possibility that changes in market prices such as foreign exchange rate, interest rate, and other prices will have an impact on Dutch Lady financial situation or cash flow. Dairy raw materials costs rose during the fiscal year under review. Compared to the previous fiscal year, they are likely to grow more in 2020. Next, production disruption. The company aims to limit the impact of unforeseen disruption on its business operation. For risks associated with critical events, the company accepts minor operational malfunctions provided this does not affect the continuity of business process. A calamity and contingency plan is in place and it's reviewed regularly by the company.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to our beloved lecturer, Dr. Saada, and my fellow friends. My name is Fidaus Asri bin Matsani, holding metric number D2020109271. Me, as the financial manager to Nestle and Dutch Daddy company, will be presenting about the ratio that we use to analyze the financial performance for both companies. There are 4 financial performance that we will be analyzed, that consists of liquidity, profitable financing asset, and return on equity. First, we will be looking at the company liquidity, where we will be using 2 ratio that consists of current ratio and asset test ratio. In current ratio, we will be dividing current asset with the current liability. Meanwhile, in asset test ratio, we will be dividing sum of cash and account receivable with the current liabilities. Second, is operating profitable. To analyze the profit, we will be going to use operating return on asset and also operating profit margin. By dividing operating profit with total sales, we will be getting the operating return on asset. For operating margin, we will be dividing operating profit with sales. The third analysis is about the financing asset. There are 4 parts that consist of the total asset turnover, fixed asset turnover, the account receivable, and also inventory. Meanwhile, for fixed asset turnover, we will be dividing total sales with the net fixed asset, where fixed asset will be minus with depreciation to get net fixed assets. For account receivable, there are 2 ratios that will be analyzed. The 2 ratio consist of day to receivable, where we will be dividing the total account receivable with daily credit sales. For the account receivable turnover, we will be dividing the annual credit sale with the account receivable. To analyze the inventory, there will be 2 ratios that consist of day in inventory, where we will be dividing inventory with the daily cost of goods sold, and the inventory turnover, we will be dividing cost of goods sold with the inventory. The last and not least, we will be analyzing the return on equity, or also known as ROE, by dividing the net income with the total common equity. To get this figure, we'll be looking at the annual report that consists of the financial statement in the annual report itself. In the 2020 annual report for the both company Dutch Daddy and Nestle, for both company, they provide both year 2019 and also 2020 in the annual report 2020. Next, my friend will continue to compare the figure of the ratio 2019 and 2020 with the Dutch Lady and Nestle performance. Thank you. That's all for me. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. My name is Nur Atira Hazia binti Muhammad Hasari with metric number D2020192751 will be presenting about comparing financial ratio of Nestle Berhad and Dutch Lady Malaysia Berhad. Current ratio. Dutch Lady Industry Berhad, the current ratio decreased over year, which are from 1.07676 in 2019 to 0.8897 in 2020. For Nestle Malaysia Berhad, their current ratio decreased from 0.6484 in 2019 to 0.5944 in 2020. Conclusion, in 2019 and 2020, Nestle Malaysia Berhad is more liquidity than Dutch Lady Industry Berhad. Acid test ratio. Dutch Lady Industry Berhad of acid test decreased from 0.4944 in 2019 to 0.4229 in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad, their acid test ratio also decreased from 0.3133 to 0.2653 in 2019 and 2020. Dutch Lady Industry Berhad and Nestle Malaysia Berhad in 2020 is slightly less liquid than 2019. Nestle Malaysia Berhad in 2019 is less liquid than Dutch Lady Industry Berhad in 2019. Operating return on asset. Dutch Lady Industry Berhad of ROA much less than in 2019 with 0.2254 from 0.2823 in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad of ROA much less with 0.2642 in 2020 and 0.3345 in 2019. In 2019, Dutch Lady Industry Berhad of ROA much less than Nestle Berhad with 0.2254, while Nestle Malaysia Berhad 0.3345. In 2020, Nestle Malaysia Berhad of ROA much less than Dutch Lady Industry Berhad with 0.2642 for Nestle Malaysia Berhad and 0.2823 from Dutch Lady Industry Berhad. Operating profit margin. The profit margin of Dutch Lady Industry Berhad in 2019 is 0.0938, decreased to 0.1280 in 2020. The profit margin of Nestle Malaysia Berhad in 2019 is 0.1653, also decreased to 0.1397 in 2020. The main reason for the decline in profit of margin was due to transmission of COVID-19 virus, which blocked business dealing. Total asset turnover. Dutch Lady Industry Berhad is generate total asset turnover much slower with 2.4046 in 2019 to 2.2064 in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad is generating total asset turnover much slower with 5.1426 in 2019 to 5.0118 in 2020. In 2019 and 2020, Nestle Malaysia Berhad generate total asset turnover is slightly faster than Dutch Lady Industry Berhad with 5.1426 in 2019 and 5.0118 in 2020, while Dutch Lady Industry Berhad with 2.4046 in 2019 and 2.2064 in 2020. Fixed asset turnover. Nestle industry Berhad is generating fixed asset much slower in 2019 with 5.0694 from 8.5234 in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad is generating fixed asset much slower with 3.0380 in 2020 from 3.3372 in 2019. In 2019 and 2020, Nestle industry Berhad generate fixed asset is slightly faster than Nestle Malaysia Berhad with 5.0694 in 2019 and 8.5234 in 2020, while Nestle Malaysia Berhad with 3.3372 in 2019 and 3.0380 in 2020. Return on equity. Nestle industry Berhad is receiving return on equity decrease in 2019 with 0.7129% from 0.4404% in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad is received return on equity decrease with 1.0120% in 2019 to 0.9921% in 2020. In 2018 and 2020, Nestle Malaysia Berhad received a higher return than Nestle industry Berhad with 0.7129% in 2019 and 0.4404% in 2020. Days in the receivable. Nestle industry Berhad of day in the receivable decreased from 38.6167 days in 2019 to 27.0274 days in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad of days in the receivable increased from 36.5013 days to 40.2802 days in 2019 and 2020. In 2019, Nestle Malaysia Berhad is slightly faster than Nestle industry Berhad, while in 2020, Nestle industry Berhad is slightly faster than Nestle Malaysia. Account receivable turnover. Nestle industry Berhad of account receivable turnover increased from 9.4519 in 2019 to 13.5048 in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad of account receivable turnover decreased from 9.9996 to 9.0615 in 2019 and 2020. In 2019, Nestle industry Berhad of account receivable turnover is slightly faster than Nestle Malaysia Berhad. In 2020, Nestle Malaysia Berhad account receivable turnover is slightly faster than Nestle industry Berhad. Days in inventory. For Nestle industry Berhad, their days in inventory decrease, which are from 74.4533 in 2019 to 74.1288 in 2020. For Nestle Malaysia Berhad, their days in inventory increase from 58.4739 in 2019 to 63.2503 in 2020. In 2019 and 2020, Nestle industry Berhad days in inventory is longer than Nestle Malaysia Berhad. Inventory turnover. Nestle industry Berhad of inventory turnover much faster from 4.9024 in 2019 to 4.9239 in 2020. Nestle Malaysia Berhad of inventory turnover much
Hello and a good day to my lecturer Dr. Saada and my fellow friends. As for me, Lim Jen Shen, holder of card metric D202010922730, will proceed to the last part, that is the conclusion, that will show the forecasting of the future performance of a company, and I will recommend some improvement for both the company. For the first part of the conclusion, I will talk about the health of companies. Both the companies for Dutch Lady and Nestle have a slightly negative growth because the reduction of the net profit. This is because the data show in the decreasing overall, and also this probably is due to the internal and external problem in and out the company. Besides that, the company suffers losses due to the EMCO that have been carried out by the government to the whole economic development in country had been slowed down due to the decreasing of purchasing power. While for the second part of the conclusion, I will talk about forecasting the performance in the future. Company need to collect more data because the data we collected, that is 2019 to 2020, is because of the pandemic. COVID-19 is a phenomenon that will more or less affect the data collected. As for forecasting, we will need more years of research to do a more accurate reading about the data, and then only we can do a clear vision for both of the company. For the last part of the conclusion, I will recommend, as I am a finance manager, I will think about the both company need to do some improvement on the management in the selling stock or asset. Furthermore, companies need to obtain research to help in the abilities of milk product for Dutch Lady company, because better qualities equal more customer. Besides that, they will need to increase the wages and salaries of the employees so that employees are more motivated to do work. Thank you for listening to us. That's all for my explanation. Thank you.